Welcome to Retro Lens Vault, where forgotten moments of the 1700s to early 1900s come back to life. A trio of gorgeousness. Who catches your fancy? Sophia Loren, Yvonne De Carlo, or Gina Lollobrigida? 1940. Francis Farmer being arrested in 1943. Ava Gardner on the set of One Touch of Venus, 1948. Kodachrome slide of a young lady at Lake Michigan, Chicago, Illinois, 30 of June, 1941. The stunning but tragic Carol Landis. Shot around 1980, this Playboy session was part of Lisa Lyon's early 80s artistic collaborations. Jean Crane, Gail Robbins, Mary Anderson, June Haver, Trudy, likely shot in May 1944, Marilyn Monroe during her time as a pin-up model for drawings in 1946. Lyon, a pioneer of women's bodybuilding, lifts dumbbells in 80s workout gear with striking strength and poise. A Turkish villager praised before execution by Bulgarian troops in 1913. A Vietnam soldier shows the 1,000-yard stare in 1966. Santa leads children through war-damaged Vukovar in 1992. Claudia Cardinale films Once Upon a Time in the West in 1968. Circus twins Pip and Flip pose in 1923. Betty Fox jump ropes on a 20-story rooftop in 1955 Chicago. White women assault a civil rights protester on a segregated beach. Klansmen stage a fake charity photo with elderly black couple in 1948. Aboriginal prisoners sit chained in early 1900s, Wyndham. Hitler signs an autograph for a nun in the 1930s. Starving Armenian children reach for bread during the 1915 genocide. A wounded Soviet soldier crawls toward German lines at Kursk. German General Anton Dossler awaits execution for war crimes in 1945. A crane installs the 362-foot antenna atop the World Trade Center in 1979. A researcher stands beside a giant Amazon leaf taller than himself. Daguerre's 1838 Paris photo captures the first person ever photographed. A German soldier offers bread to an orphaned Russian boy in 1942. A U.S. soldier stands over seized gold bars in Iraq, 2003. Ma Barker poses with a Thompson gun in the 1930s America. A woman models simple French lingerie in the early 1920s. 1950s models display dresses with varied necklines. Two women pose in ornate dresses and hats for an 1880s tintype. Crowds watch wounded Somme soldiers arrive at Charing Cross in 1916. Injured children stand in a Leningrad hospital during the 1942 siege. Russian World War I soldiers wear early gas masks in freezing conditions. A 1950s racing car somersaults as the unbelted driver is thrown. Mexicans and Americans play volleyball across the Naco border in 1979. Fans are crushed against the fence during the 1989 Hillsborough disaster. A heavily armed Soviet partisan poses for a portrait in 1943. Gaddafi meets rifle designer Mikhail Kalashnikov on a Libyan beach. Over 700,000 attend a massive Nazi rally in 1934. Pablo Escobar sorts cash beside mountains of cartel money, 1982. Officers salute police dog Kaiser on his final walk. A French mother and child wear gas hoods during a 1918 attack. WWI veteran Pierre Recobre sits proudly in medals during the 1970s. A French soldier writes to his wife in the Verdun trenches, 1916. Batman and Robin film a Batboat chase on a 1960s soundstage. Star Wars crew rest while Kenny Baker eats inside the R2-D2 suit, 1977. Georgia teens burn Beatles records after Lennon's 1966 remark. Women shelter inside coffins during London Blitz air raids. CIA tests tiny pigeon-mounted spy cameras during the Cold War. Indian troops in gas hoods hold a trench at Fokisar in 1915. Alex Wilson assaulted while covering Little Rock school integration in 1957. Drew Barrymore and Mr. T appear together at the 1983 People's Choice Awards. Joni Mitchell and Mama Cass share drinks in Cass's Los Angeles backyard, 1968. Light shines through shrapnel holes in a damaged RAF Halifax bomber, 1942. Russian soldiers teach German POWs Cossack dance on the snowy front, 1915. Marlene Dietrich is lifted by U.S. soldiers to kiss a returning serviceman in 1945. Seoul, 1904. Children overlook dirt streets and tile-roofed homes before Japanese rule. 1920 Canada. Engineer tests concrete pipe by sitting inside while workers stack sandbags. 1940s beach. Early scuba divers use bulky helmets before modern aqualung invention. 1903 Oregon. Logging railroad crosses a temporary timber trestle built from stacked logs. 1995 Cannes. Pamela Anderson promotes barbed wire in a leather lace-up dress. 1923 beach. Denishawn dancers pose. Martha Graham leads. Louise Brooks trains. 1970s. Belgium. Sinterklaas arrives on an elephant, delighting children and parents. 1908. Submarine crew in heavy diving suits with single-window helmets for shallow underwater tasks. 1941. Finnish engineers camouflaged a road with suspended trees to evade aerial detection. World War I. Mutt, a small dog courier, delivered messages and cigarettes under fire, wounded twice. August 1914. French heavy cavalry parades. Paris, still wearing steel breastplates and plumed helmets. 1942. Mickey Rooney marries Ava Gardner before her rise to Hollywood stardom. 1967. Two waitresses race down New York streets balancing drinks in a publicity contest. Isabella Boyer marries Isaac Singer, amasses wealth, and inspires the Statue of Liberty's face. Charles Darrow counts Monopoly money, profiting from the 1930s board game success. Soldier survives a bullet thanks to a metal lighter stopping the round. November 10, 1945. Frederick C. Branch becomes the first African-American U.S. Marine officer. 1991. Dolly Parton poses with U.S. soldiers beside a shark-nosed aircraft during Desert Storm. 1944. Japanese Zero kamikaze hits USS Lexington. 50 sailors die, carrier repaired. 1985. Mike Okuda designs Star Trek 4 computer displays, shaping the LCARS interface. 1970. Howlin' Wolf performs in London, influencing British rock musicians. 1961. Louis Armstrong plays trumpet for wife Lucille in Egypt during cultural tour. 1993. Kurt Cobain sits with cigarette burn, embodying grunge's raw, haunting music. 1962. The Beatles perform nearly 300 times at Liverpool's Cavern Club in early mop tops. 1990s. Penelope Cruz and Salma Hayek rise as film stars and form a close friendship. 1950s. Couple rides in a tiny Messerschmitt Cabinen roller with tandem seats and canopy. 1929. Einstein and Marie Curie stand by a lake, sharing a quiet moment of friendship. Late 1960s. Ralph H. Baer tests the brown box, precursor to the first home video game. 1940. Leopold Stokowski conducts the Philadelphia Orchestra for Disney's Fantasia. On a soundstage, late 1950s, young Carlos Chuck Norris trains in Korea, earning early black belts. 1979, Christopher Plummer and James Mason pause on Murder by Decree as Holmes and Watson. 1996, Rick Rubin, Tom Petty, and Johnny Cash record Grammy-winning Unchained tracks. 1915, teenage Ottoman volunteers march through streets preparing for Gallipoli. April 1918, gas-blinded British 55th Division soldiers move in a human chain toward aid. 7 May 1945, American and Soviet soldiers share drinks, celebrating Germany's surrender. December 1914, British and German soldiers fraternize during the Western Front Christmas truce. 1967, Catherine Switzer becomes first woman to officially run the Boston Marathon. 1956, Barney Fry lifts 3 women in a Muscle Beach strength stunt on the boardwalk. 1936, Jesse Owens arrives in London after Berlin Olympics, defying Nazi racial propaganda. 1963, Italian sailors on Amerigo Vespucci kiss loved ones before sailing to Egypt. 1944, French woman accused of aiding Germans has head shaved publicly by locals. 1944, First Lieutenant Turney Leonard earns Medal of Honor directing fire while mortally wounded. 1978, Muhammad Ali sits barefoot in Louisville Gardens before an exhibition bout. 1978, Sarah Torgov, Christine DeBelle, and Cindy Gerling pose on Meatballs. 1950, Gwendolyn Brooks at her desk, first Black American to win a Pulitzer for poetry. 1933, teenage JFK dances with friend Lem Billings outside school, beginning a lifelong friendship. Early 1900s, Allen and Hanbury's sold throat lozenges containing menthol and cocaine in Britain. Early dawn in the countryside in Heilongjiang Province, China, 1964. Papua New Guinea. Asaro, mudmen, wear clay masks to frighten enemies with fierce faces. 1957. Dutch children attend open-air classroom with blackboards set outdoors for fresh air. 1946. New father collapses as nurses present his newborn triplets in hospital nursery. 1905. 2 first-class passengers dine on an English train with full service and fine china. Early 1900s, Mongolia. Khalkha noblewomen pose in silk robes with horn-shaped headpieces. 1963, Poland. Masked nurse tends to a smallpox-stricken child during a brief outbreak. 1928, Illinois. Gang leader Charlie Berger faces the last public execution in the state. November 9, 1989. Crowds climb the Berlin Wall, celebrating the fall of the barrier. Summer 1960, New York. Swimmobile truck brings portable pools to crowded neighborhoods. Rosa Parks sits at the front of a bus after segregation ends, circa 1965. 110-year-old self-portrait by Sergei Prokudin-Gorsky created full-color photos from black and white shots. August 23, 1989, 2 million people form a 600-kilometer human chain across the Baltic states. 3 generations of women pose outside their stone cottage in Ireland, 1927. 1929. London, a knocker-up wakes clients before alarm clocks by tapping doors and windows. 1974. Mary Wallace becomes the first female bus driver for the Chicago Transit Authority. Niagara Falls froze over in 1883. World War I. Field. More than 100 years later. Sioux Nation teepees spread across the Great Plains, Dakota Territory, 1800s. Guide Samson Beaver, wife Leah, and daughter Frances Louise, Stoney First Nation, 1907. German soldier helps a boy sneak across the Berlin Wall, 1961. Dapper group walks to church in Chicago, 1940s. West Berlin residents show children to grandparents in East Berlin, 1961. Zoo director negotiates with an escaped chimpanzee, Belgrade, 1988. Sailors salute a war veteran, Leningrad, 1989. Japanese mother and child sit among Hiroshima ruins after the atomic bomb, August 1945. Eiffel Tower under construction, July 1888. 1951 combination television, radio, and cocktail set. Isaac Newton Sieber rides an ostrich-drawn wagon at Cawston Ostrich Farm, 1920. Villagers drink at Bidford Mop Fair, Warwickshire, circa 1900. Workers reassemble Abu Simbel temples, Egypt, 1968. Bruce Lee with Master Ip Man, 1960. Sweden switches from left to right-hand driving, September 3, 1967. Depression-era bread line, 1933. Jazz fans caught in the moment at Big J. McNeely Concert, Los Angeles, 1951. Air France Concorde 4590 takes off. Its crash ends supersonic commercial flights, 2000. Arnold Schwarzenegger at the Whitney Museum, New York City, 1976. Freedom by Roy Pan, first place winner. The Bench with Shadow Dog by Tony Hertz. Lonely on the Beach by Louise Rayner. Goggle Boy by Louise Rayner. Dragon Walks Across the World by Chongjun Chao. Her Royal Highness by Arnold Plotnick. Verses by Jose Luis Morales Martin. View over fields to the lignite power plant.